you touched upon, I think we talked a little bit about Scalar. So I'm wondering, so Scalar is a pure educational company, and I think there are a couple of others also who are right now in this ML space, essentially like educating an audience and then providing them jobs and the typical ed tech business. You guys are not pure ed tech per se, you're more in the community line, but do you
Yeah.
perhaps see them as competitors, or is there like some back and forth between, say, them and perhaps Age of Geeks?
Competitors, I wouldn't really say so. I mean, those guys are very focused on building a business. And by that, I mean, their KPIs are different. The metrics that they want to optimize are different.
Okay.
They would want more revenue, more profits, of course, through building a community, building a large community, because it's a very B2C kind of a business where you need more and more people to enter your community and then engage with your content and ultimately jump into the funnel and then get
Right.
converted as someone who pays for your course, right?
Right.
So, but the bottom line metric that you're focused on is profit and revenue.
Right.
For Age of Geeks, it's not like that because
So
you're,
what would be your metric?
I think engagement and growth in the number of members in our community month over month or week over week. Those kind of metrics are something that we are more interested in. If I was very focused on revenue from day one, obviously it would be my like top line metric. But right now it's not.
Yeah, that's actually a very nice contrast, right? The two businesses, the difference and what would be the metric to optimize for. And that has a direct impact on the decisions you take, how you evolve the product itself.
True.
Yeah. So, but why did you focus on these, if I may ask? Like, why was building a community so important rather than monetizing something? Especially when you're giving a lot of time to it, right? And you're building a team around it.
Yeah, I mean, I would really love to turn this community into a business. I would love that. But it's a very delicate game. Like, you have to be sure of the product that you want to introduce. What is it that you want to do with this community? You have to be very sure of it. Otherwise, I'll tell you what happens because it's a large following and they're very loyal to you and they're looking up to your content, right? It means that if you introduce something and it doesn't work, it forms an impression in their mind. And because this is a large audience, it does not go away that sooner.
Right, right.
So you have to be very sure with what you want to do. And I didn't hit the point where I was very sure with what I want to do with this community. I think that was one of the reasons why I didn't haste into creating a business out of it.
I see.
Right.
Even if I would love to do that, I think I want to come to a point where I'm extremely sure of what I want to do next because this is not a place where I can experiment anymore, right? If I was only having 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 followers, I would be okay experimenting. But now it's so big and it's taken a vast form that
Right.
doing anything is a little difficult, right? Like you'll see a lot of people saying things like startup पे काफी सारे decisions बहुत जल्दी लिए जाते हैं and we can iterate quicker and stuff like that.
Right,
But in a
right,
company like Amazon, there's so many hierarchies and the organization is so huge.
Right. Processes and all. Correct.
There are other processes and systems in place and that's why when communities grow or companies grow, it becomes all the more difficult to pivot and make changes and do anything which shakes the core.
Basically, a version of like with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Exactly.
You don't want to have any small change also, you have to think twice before that.
So I'm wondering, would it have been perhaps more important to kind of figure out how you're going to utilize the community maybe much earlier on?
I think I did it pretty earlier on. See, the thing was, I didn't want to create a large business around it, but I was very sure that I wanted to make it self-sustaining, right? I didn't want to put money out of my own pocket to be able to build this community and get it to the stage. So at that point of time, even when we had 10,000 followers, there were things running at the back of my mind of what I could do in order to make this self-sustaining, right? What I could do in order to get in some money that could help us grow. That's what I did.
This is actually something which
Very
I'm
interesting,
curious about,
because
right?
Very different, the way you're looking at it in terms of a community and not a business, in terms of engagement and not revenue, it's a pretty unique outlook, and you're looking at impact and self-sustaining attributes to this community.
Yeah,
Which is, I think,
because
a different way of looking at businesses. People are usually, they kind of just want to focus on the money, and money is their proxy to impact. Whereas your proxy to impact is actually engagement and like outcomes in the community itself in terms of upscaling and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, there's upside to it, right? I mean, if let's say I decide on doing something and the community doesn't take it well, and let's say the product doesn't perform as well as I would love it to perform, it does affect my credibility. It does affect the credibility of the founder of the community as well as the community in itself, right? People will also feel that, यार ये कुछ नहीं कर पाया, मैं इसको क्यों follow करूँ? I would do it better. So I don't give away that impression unless and until I'm 100% sure. And I'm not worried about money. There's ton of money coming in from various things that I'm doing, right? And I've built small businesses in the past, and I know that in the future also I'm going to be able to do something which is absolutely off the charts. I completely believe that. But I'm just waiting for the right time, and I do have faith that whatever I'm going through, whatever I'm learning right now is going to take me there. So I'm just waiting patiently for that moment to come.
This was, to be honest, this is very, very intriguing to me, right? That I was totally not expecting this before talking to you. Essentially, that you're looking at it as a learning opportunity rather than as the thing that is your breadwinner, essentially, right? The money making machine. That's a very interesting approach to motivating yourself to do something over time, right? Build the engagement, as a proxy, as Abhinav also put it, right? Very beautifully, like your proxy for impact is different. It's not the usual money that is there. Right.
Yeah, I mean, there were days when money was an important thing, but I'm so past it right now that like it doesn't matter as much, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's just because I've seen enough of it that I think it's okay to not have enough of it at this stage. But it could be different for different people. Like while I was building Artnet, I was desperate.
Yes.
Because that was the first time in my life when I had seen that volume of money coming in, right? And I went through it. I had a lot of money, and then I built Age of Geeks, and suddenly there was even more. But then I came to the realization that there are bigger things to achieve in life, and I am meant for that. So I just have to wait patiently to a point where I know this is 100% what I want to do with my community, or I'm waiting for my next big idea. And there are things running at the back of my mind. It's not like I'm waiting for the right moment. I could get started right now, right?
Right.
But I want to be sure. That's all.